up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Wrestling on Leon the King TV. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Whatever you do, please hit that subscribe button. And let's get the show started. I'm going to go right into it today. I hope everyone's doing good. Everyone's feeling positive. Everyone's feeling good. Having a good day. Having a good week so far. Having a good year. Having a good month. And just feeling good so far is everything. So we're going to go into it. Hope you guys are doing well. First off, I want to talk about why Sasha Banks is the best. I feel like Sasha Banks is one of the best women in all of WWE's women division today. You know, when you think about some of the top best women in the company, you think about names like Sasha Banks, and you think about Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, Bailey. Women, the four horsewomen that were part of, the WWE's uh, push. When ever since they did the Give Divas a Chance movement and the women's revolution in WWE, you think about the four horsewomen like Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Bailey, and Sasha Banks. So a lot of the times, Sasha Banks she's never won a WrestleMania. In all of her WrestleMania matches, if you think about it, she never won a WrestleMania. So it'll be awesome to see, definitely at WrestleMania 38, since she's tag teaming with Naomi, taking on Queen Zelina and Carmella for the Women's Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania 38. So it'll be cool to see her finally pick up her first victory at WrestleMania, winning the Tag Team Championships with Naomi. So I definitely will be watching that match. But I feel like Sasha Banks is one of the best. She's beautiful. She's talented in the ring. Such a beautiful woman, but she's talented in the ring. She's got moves. She's creative in the ring. She's really a draw. And with her being on the SmackDown brand, she definitely brings a lot of potential on Friday Night SmackDown as a big top star. And I feel like, it's kind of interesting that she has never won a WrestleMania in all these years of her being with the company and being on the roster. But it's just fun to see that this could be a chance for her to finally win this year at next month's WrestleMania. So, I feel that if you watch her episode on WWE Chronicle on Peacock on the WWE Network, it's actually very good. I was very entertained by it, and I enjoyed hearing her stories of what she went through and her struggles and emotional things going on. But I love seeing her. She has a triumphant story. She's great in the ring. She's amazing. I would love to have her on the show and interview her sometime, but I feel that she's just that good of a character. And she's a great athlete in the ring. She's one of the best pro wrestlers in the women's division and in all of wrestling. Last year, she made history by main eventing WrestleMania against Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. She, it was amazing, especially as an African American man. It was amazing seeing two black women main event WrestleMania for the first time in history. In all of pro wrestling, two black women for the first time ever finally got to main event a pay-per-view. And we got to see Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks do it. So that was awesome. And they made so much history in pro wrestling last year. And they put on a great match. Obviously, Sasha Banks did not win. Bianca Belair won the title, and that was that. But therefore, they both went at it. Sasha was very good in the match. Bianca was great in the match, but she hadn't won. She never won a WrestleMania, I believe. If I'm correct, I could be wrong, but I believe she never won a WrestleMania match. So therefore, I believe it'll be amazing to see her finally win at WrestleMania this year. And I think she's definitely one of the best. She's one of the greats, and I like to see what she can do. Um, I'm a fan of heel Sasha Banks. I think heel Sasha Banks is amazing. We've seen her as heel before. I believe she's an entertaining heel. She's also the cousin of Snoop Dogg, so that's kind of interesting too. So she's just great at what she does. And I love Sasha Banks. I'm a huge Sasha Banks fan. So if anything, I'm Team Banks. Team Banks over Bianca Belair. Second, I want to talk about today is Shelton Benjamin being underrated. In my opinion, and people could disagree with me or not, I don't care. But Shelton Benjamin, in my opinion, has to be one of the best, most underrated wrestlers in all of pro wrestling and in WWE. He is definitely underrated. The man in the Ruthless Aggression era was one of the biggest names in the Ruthless Aggression era. He faced guys like Undertaker, had great matches with Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, Charlie Haas. I mean, you think about it, you go down the list of names, he's faced a lot of good people and a lot of big names in that company. And Shelton Benjamin is amazing. His moves, his athleticism, the man really should be pushed as a champion in the company. You know, him and Cedric Alexander and the Hurt Business, they're a good tag team. Um, Cedric and Shelton definitely need to be Raw Tag Team Champions this year. But if anything, Shelton Benjamin is great, and he's the truth. He's the fucking truth. He's not getting pushed much, but if anything, he definitely deserves to be a champion. He deserves to have that title shot, and I feel that if anything, Shelton Benjamin deserves it. He needs it. He deserves it. He's worked for it. He's the guy. You know, One of the things I'll say about the Hurt Business, because I'm also a huge fan of MVP. I like Cedric Alexander. I think he's talented too. I'm a huge Bobby Lashley fan already, as you know. But they should have never. WWE should have never broken up the Hurt Business. Um, when the faction broke up, I thought it was too soon. It was just random and it was weird. It was at the wrong time for them to break up and split. I feel like they had such a good team, such a good faction, and they never really got major. They all were champions, but they never got taken seriously. And I feel like they didn't get the attention while they were all champions. They should have been marketed. They should have been advertised. They should have been booked right. They should have been main eventing more shows. They shouldn't have been pushed as main eventers. And they should have been pushed and taken seriously like Evolution. If you go back to the 2000s and the Ruthless Aggression era, you look at names like Evolution. Evolution was a huge stable. Batista, Randy Orton, Triple H, Ric Flair. And they became world champions and they were successful. But what should have happened was they should have, pushed the Hurt Business like Evolution, made them look unstoppable, and they gave them a long run. They got back together and they rebranding and they got together again, reunited. But since they've gotten back together, they haven't been shown together on any segments or any promos on Raw. So it kind of feels weird that, the way they booked the Hurt Business, but that's just my point. I'm a big fan of the Hurt Business. I think if you're going to push a team of African American men in your company, then push it right. This is the first all black faction in WWE. And I think that you should have really not, they really dropped the ball on Hurt Business in their company. And I think that they really, just like they dropped the ball on the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and other characters and gimmicks in their roster, they definitely dropped the ball on the Hurt Business. So now that they're back together, we got to see them get pushed like Evolution. To me, they're like the next Evolution. They're the all-black version of Evolution. And they got to get pushed, and they have to get in their company, make them all champions again. Cedric and Shelton need to be Raw Tag Team Champions. Bobby Lashley needs to be WWE champion when he comes back and gets his rematch for that title against whoever he faces, whether it's Reigns or Lesnar, and then MVP can be MVP. But therefore, they need to be back on top again. But Shelton Benjamin, to me, back on the topic of Shelton, he's just a very underrated talent. They announced his return back in 2016. He was originally going to be on the SmackDown roster, or was on the SmackDown roster. Then it got drafted to the Monday Night Raw roster. So, I feel like Shelton is just the truth. He's an African American man in WWE. He's talented. He's got the moves. He's got the skill. If anything, he has edge. He's serious about what he does, and I feel like he has a passion for wrestling, has a passion for the company. And if anything, that's the kind of guy WWE should be pushing right now is Shelton Benjamin. I'm a big Shelton Benjamin fan, so it makes sense for them to push a guy like that. One of the best matches Shelton Benjamin had was on Raw years ago in the Ruthless Aggression era when he faced Shawn Michaels. He jumped from the top rope and Shawn Michaels hit him with a sweet chin music in the air. And that was amazing. That kick, oh wow. That was like a super kick. That was amazing. Shawn Michaels is great too. And that was a great match. So yeah. Next, I want to talk about WrestleMania this year being goofy. I'm excited for WrestleMania 38, but at the same time, I'm a little disappointed. Certain matches that I wanted didn't get booked as always. They're using WrestleMania as a joke now to me. They're booking it where they're taking names like these celebrity names outside of wrestling. Guys like Johnny Knoxville facing Sami Zayn. Guys like Jake Paul teaming up with The Miz to take on Rey Mysterio and Dominic, the Mysterios, at WrestleMania. So I feel like this shit is just weird now. Like, this is weird as heck. Like, now you got, Sami Zayn on SmackDown feuding with Johnny Knoxville. Why are we pushing guys like, giving attention to guys like Johnny Knoxville and Jake Paul when we should be pushing real professional athlete wrestlers? Real wrestlers. Real WWE superstars. We should be pushing guys like Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander. Let them face the Mysterios. You know what I'm saying? Let them get tag team title shots at WrestleMania. Let them go on and feud with RK Bro or somebody. But we got to put attention on Jake Paul and The Miz. The Miz is a professional wrestler, but we got to put attention on Jake Paul, Logan Paul's brother. We have to put attention on Jake Paul. Seriously. So I feel like there's just certain things that WWE is lacking right now. Like if and on Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville. Now that Ricochet is the new Intercontinental Champion, why not see Ricochet versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship, since Sami Zayn lost the title against Ricochet last week on SmackDown and Ricochet won the championship title. So I feel like, why not get that match at WrestleMania? Why not get Mace, who we haven't seen since he's been drafted to SmackDown from Retribution? Why don't we get Mace versus Ricochet for the Intercontinental Championship? Why can't we put attention on matches like that, but we got to put attention on Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville? Johnny Knoxville from Jackass is a pro wrestler now. That's a joke. He's showing up for WrestleMania, and that's it. He's going the next. So why are we putting attention on people from the outside when we should be focusing on people that are in the industry, people in WWE, people on their roster that are not being used? Names like Titus O'Neil, Mace, Ricochet. The names can go on about guys that are under branded and misused. Excuse me. I feel like that's one of the things that WWE is lacking right now. We have to grab celebrities from the outside to make WrestleMania look good. I had no problem with Bad Bunny teaming with Damian Priest at WrestleMania 37 last year against Miz and Morrison in the tag match. It was a good match and it was entertaining and I enjoyed it. And I thought last year's WrestleMania was or will be probably better than this year's WrestleMania if WrestleMania this year sucks. So if WrestleMania 38 sucks, then last year's WrestleMania 37 will be better. So I feel like, you know, we got to get out of this habit of let's grab celebrity names and throw them in a pay-per-view like WrestleMania to make WrestleMania good. WrestleMania is about wrestlers. It's about WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. Why are we grabbing outside celebrities? That's goofy. AEW doesn't do that for their pay-per-views. Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, All Japan, New Japan. Name any promotion outside of WWE. Who in the heck is doing that? I don't mean to sound serious, but it's just my opinion. So therefore, they got to push their talent than pushing outside celebrities like Johnny Knoxville and Jake Paul. We got to focus on wrestling and the wrestlers and push people that are not being used on your roster. Like, where has Titus O'Neil been? Where is Mace, the guy who wears the mask from Retribution? Where is he? The guy who used to be tag team partners with T-Bar. Where is he? T-Bar lost to Omos on Raw the other day. So, you know, and we barely saw T-Bar. Put T-Bar on SmackDown and let him feud with Sami Zayn. Or let anybody feud with Sami Zayn. But we got to put attention on Johnny Knoxville. I'm fine if Johnny Knoxville was just standing ringside cheering on Sami Zayn's opponent. And he's just there and present. And just makes an appearance or does something goofy. I'm fine with that. But I got to see Johnny Knoxville wrestle. Did we all see what happened at Royal Rumble that was so embarrassing? So therefore, why do we need to see Johnny Knoxville wrestle? We saw him at Royal Rumble. We don't need to see him at WrestleMania. That makes no sense. But oh well. Last night on AEW, big news had happened. And the big news was we finally got to see Jeff Hardy make his return in the ring. But Jeff Hardy officially has debuted in All Elite Wrestling. Jeff Hardy is officially now with AEW. This means very cool things. He was a segment where Matt Hardy was being attacked by a faction. And then we see Sting and Darby Allin come to his rescue. Sting and Darby Allin's getting attacked. And then you hear the Hardy Boys theme music. And Jeff Hardy runs out to the ring. The audience is happy. Commentary's losing their mind. He jumps in the ring, gives everybody the business. And then from there, saves his brother Matt. I'm excited because we all knew the rumors. We all heard it was official that he was signing with the company. And most likely he showed up last night on AEW. But we also, the match that I would love to see Jeff in would be Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin. They were in the ring at the same time last night. Oh my God. Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin would be such a great match. They have charismatic gimmicks. They're both like icons. They're both icons. Jeff Hardy is a huge icon and in wrestling. And they're both athletic and high-flying guys. So if anything, the athleticism they both had would bring so much in the ring together. Very technical match and very good chemistry. Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin will put on a great match in AEW. This also means we can see old feuds like Jeff Hardy and CM Punk. Hardy and CM Punk feuded on SmackDown back in 2009 in WWE. It would be awesome seeing Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin feud in AEW after all these years. I mean, CM Punk after all these years. So Jeff Hardy and CM Punk would make a great match. I think that Jeff Hardy versus Hangman Adam Page, um, Jeff Hardy and Adam Cole, Jeff Hardy and Sting, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy can feud against each other. But the Hardy Boys being in AEW, this is huge news. Let's go. We got Jeff Hardy teaming with his brother Matt Hardy in AEW. Like, dude, this match is going to be lit. We're going to have some lit matches in AEW. Seeing that Jeff debuted in AEW last night made me a fan of AEW and what they're doing to reach hardcore wrestling fans. So now, I feel like it's awesome to see Jeff Hardy in AEW. But a Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin match, dude, that would be the dream. That's a dream match of mine in AEW. It's Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin. And obviously getting Jeff Hardy and CM Punk again at some point would be great. But there's so many great matches that we could see. AEW is making history right now in their company. And if anything, they have a great roster ahead of them. They're doing good with their women. They're doing good with their men. Their champions are getting pushed. They're giving guys opportunities. They're doing great. Yeah, they have some cons and some negative things in their company, but overall, they're doing pretty good. All Elite Wrestling is doing well right now. But yes, it's official. Last night, Jeff Hardy made his debut in AEW. The Hardy Boys are reunited back in All Elite Wrestling. Last topic of the night. I want to talk about matches that have not happened in WWE. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, but here we are. So the matches that have not happened, that we've never gotten before. You think about matches like Batista versus Brock Lesnar. Batista versus Brock Lesnar would have been a great match. We almost got it back in 2014. I believe we should have got it at WrestleMania 30, but we didn't. We got Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker instead, and we got Batista in the main event for the world title. So it didn't happen, but they had a segment together. They had a promo together, and it was close to happening. But that was the match back in 2014. But that was the match that should have took place. Batista versus Brock Lesnar. The Animal versus the Beast incarnate. This match makes so much sense. But I don't think it'll ever happen at this point. The next match is Jeff Hardy versus Finn Balor. Obviously, Jeff Hardy versus Finn Balor, you're dealing with guys with two gimmicks. The thing in wrestling is I love guys that have gimmicks. And when you put two gimmicks against each other, it creates so much great moments in WWE and so much great matches and fantasy matches that fans want to see. The Demon King versus the Charismatic Enigma. The third match that I think that has never happened, I think fans want to see, Finn Balor versus Kane. The Big Red Machine against the Demon King. This match would be awesome. Again, two guys with gimmicks facing each other. You think about The Fiend versus Finn Balor. The Fiend versus the Demon King. Why haven't we gotten that, WWE? Those are great matches. You know, just to see a match between Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt as the Fiend, that would be epic. What else can we think about? Sting versus the Undertaker. You know, the franchise of WCW facing the franchise of WWE. Such a perfect match. The Dark Crow characters, the Sting versus the Phenom, the Dead Man, the Undertaker. What an epic match to be at WrestleMania. What a epic match that should have happened at WrestleMania. You think about matches like, you know, God, John Cena versus Goldberg. Never happened before. If I'm correct, Cena and Goldberg never faced each other. You think about, a lot of names. The Undertaker versus The Fiend. Never happened. Triple H versus The Fiend. Never happened. The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Hasn't happened yet. The Rock versus Roman Reigns is a WrestleMania match that must happen at some point in this lifetime. And I believe that Roman Reigns and The Rock will put on a hell of a match. I don't believe that having an epic match at WrestleMania is always the way. You can have an epic match at any pay-per-view, whether it's WrestleMania, let it be Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, whatever. Survivor Series, it doesn't matter. But as long as you have an epic match at any pay-per-view, you're going to have an epic match. It doesn't have to be at WrestleMania to make it good. But that's my opinion. But those are a list of matches that we have not seen yet. So, therefore, we talked pretty much about all the topics that I've written down tonight. For the most part, I'm doing another episode later on tonight. I'm going to be doing another podcast version of the show tomorrow. I will be doing a podcast version of Let's Talk Wrestling tomorrow on Friday. So the Friday episode of Let's Talk Wrestling, the podcast version, will be up tomorrow here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, like, comment, subscribe. And on that note, it's your boy Leon the King TV. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Wrestling. Hope you guys stay safe, stay good, stay happy, be happy, stay positive, live good. And we'll be up for another episode tonight. But thank you for watching Let's Talk Wrestling. Peace.